I've got some zizzing going on here. So I think it was a fly. Sorry, my bad. There you go.
Stephen McKell, you
Yay!
have 2.2 million followers on TikTok, 51.7 million likes. I don't know how many views. How many views would that rack up?
I don't know. It's something like 400 million, 500 million, something around that ballpark figure, which is like mad to me. It's insane. I don't know. I never thought I'd be able to kind of get that.
But not only that, you also have a YouTube channel. So you are the best TikToker I know to ask about the differences between TikTok and YouTube. Before we get into any of that though, what is your favourite own TikTok video on your channel?
Oh, that's the hard one. Yeah, if you ask a TikToker this is hard. I think it's the one where I've done Miss Trunchbull. I've done Matilda and I pretended to be Miss Trunchbull, and I got like it done really, really well. I think that's my favourite one because I think that really encompasses like my favourite childhood movie. It's acting, it's fun, people really resonated with it. So I like dressed up like Trunchbull, had like my hair slicked back and had my suit jacket on with like a belt and like these shorts, and I pretended to be the scene where she chucks Amanda Fripp over the fence just before that. So I reenacted that scene as Miss Trunchbull and Amanda Fripp, the little girl. So it was I don't know what it was. It was one of those things that I was like, I'm just going to film that today. I'm going to learn the lines and then film it and do it in like my way. And it done really well. I was really proud of it. But there's a lot of videos that I'm proud of, and it's really hard for me to pick one. But I think that one really, that was another thing people knew me for at the end of last year. They were like, "Oh, you like Miss Trunchbull?" And I'm like, "I am, yes."
And what's your video with the most views?
It's a lip challenge. It's got like, I think it's got like 34 million views or something, which is madness. It's got like 30 odd million views, and it's basically me. This is how the TikTok algorithm works and how anyone can get big on it. It was me putting like 3 like lipsticks, liquid lips, and I put one strip there, one strip here, and one strip, and I just went like this, and it was to the song, and it was madness. It was like the least effort you could put into a video, and it done like got the most views, and everyone knew me as the boy, like, "Oh, you're the guy who does lip challenges." And I was like, "Yeah, I know." And it's like, even now I would repost it like every 6 months and it'd still get like 10 million views, and I'm like, why does this, like, why do people love this? But I think it's aesthetically, like, people love to watch those kind of make-uppy stuff.
Did I detect a slight eye roll when you gave that answer? A lip sync video seen as perhaps a lesser art form?
And the worst thing was, it wasn't even lip sync. It was me literally just going to like smudge the lips, the lipstick, to make it look like I had like 3 colours of lips. So like, it wasn't even lip sync, so it's like even worse. But I think in the realm of lip syncing, so the app used to be called Musical.ly, which, you know, we don't call it anymore, and that traditionally was a lip syncing app. That's how it was. That's how it got its notoriety. However, I kind of done original comedy back then, and I done lip syncs as well, but I done original comedy and like dancing and like meme style content. But I think now, although people that do lip sync still do very well, and they can just sit in front of the camera and lip sync a song and get 10 million views, I'm not jealous. But no, I think that now there's a higher standard now. Now it's a platform with, there's so much in there, and I think lip syncing is maybe seen as something that's not something like they want to push, like it's a lip syncing app, because it's not now. It used to be, but now it's more like, you know, if you want to really be like big on the platform and really want to be there for a longevity, you've got to be able to reinvent yourself, I think.
And you have a YouTube channel and a TikTok channel.
Yes.
Why is TikTok better than YouTube?
So I think TikTok's better than YouTube because, one, it's shorter media, so it's short form media, whereas, you know, YouTube's long form media traditionally. I think with TikTok it's easy to get involved in videos or see trends that you can relate to, that you can that you feel like you want to do. The thing about YouTube is that you watch a video and you're like, "Oh, that's great," and they make me laugh and it's fun, and you think, "Oh, I'd love to do YouTube." However, then you have to get a camera, lights, edit, and it's really hard to be a YouTuber. It's really, really hard. It's the hardest platform to gain followers on. Whereas TikTok, you can watch something and you can think to yourself, "I know I can do that better," or if not, I can have just as much as fun as that person, and you just need to set up your camera. So the difference between making the content's way on the other spectrum. YouTube's harder, TikTok's very easy. You can upload 10 videos in the space of half an hour on TikTok and get you know, triple the views you would if you'd done it on YouTube. So I think the algorithm favours better to people because it has like a broader spectrum of content that it likes to put on the For You page. So it gives people a better chance to be seen, to have fun, to interact with other people. I like YouTube. I've not made videos on it in a while, but I was doing YouTube when I was doing TikTok like a few years ago, so I was doing both side by side, and I felt like TikTok was just so much easier. It's a platform where you have to really be authentic for people to really grow on it, whereas YouTube, you have to really have some sort of, not a facade, but you have to have a really different kind of push yourself like 110%, whereas TikTok maybe not as much. I've got some zizzing going on here. So I think it was a fly. Sorry, my bad. There you go.
Do you know what? That's
a long-winded answer.
No, Stephen, that is so fascinating because I hadn't thought that the actual, you know, production technique would actually have such a big effect on the what you share and how you express yourself. So being able to just get straight online quicker means that you put out something a bit more authentic. I hadn't really thought of it like that.
Yeah, I think that's it's a really big pull factor for when someone who's started out on social media, who wants to kind of be big.
And this is a delicate question, an awkward question, but do you make money on TikTok?
Yeah, I do. I have. When I first started out for the first few years, you know, there's different ways to make money on TikTok, and I think some people are a little bit dubious to talk about it because, you know, they don't want to. But I'll be the one to set the record straight. Now, I'm joking. There's different ways you can make money on TikTok. You can do live streaming, where people then send you gifts, and they buy gifts from the app and they send you them. And in return, some people have live streams where they play games, where they do. Now you can guest people in sometimes. It's like so you get something back for that, or if you want to support your favourite creator, you can do it that way. Me personally, I've never asked for that on live streams. I've been given gifts, and no matter, you can tell people don't give me them all you want. Some people are still just going to give you gifts, and a lot of things nowadays are like the small gifts and like thank you, but like save it and like donate it to somewhere or do something else with it. I just want you to join my live streams to have fun. But other people can make a living from it. They can make they put a lot of time and effort into live streaming. I used to live stream I live streamed like 2 years straight on the platform. Every night I live stream, and that was for me to build my following. Back then it was really big because it was cheaper for gifts, and people, some creators in America got done really well on gifting. But now TikTok have put in like measures to keep it safe so kids can't send gifts on the app. You have to be 18 or over, you have to be 16 or over to live stream, which I totally agree with, because then what they're doing is safeguarding the people watching, but also the creators that are live streaming. But that's one way you can do it. This is a long-winded answer as well, I'm sorry.
No, this is a Anaraki kind of podcast, so go into as much detail as you feel comfortable with.
Yeah, so you could do it through the live streaming and things like that, which a lot of people do, and most people put a lot of work into live streams, where some people don't. And there's other ways of doing it. So you can do sponsored content like you would do on YouTube or Instagram or Twitter. Most of sponsored content that's on TikTok is music, because music drives the platform. It's in all, like, most videos you'll see, you'll have a music tagged at the bottom of what artist that is, etc. So you get brands that will come up to you and want to like promote a song, and like you then get a campaign and you talk to like not the artist, but like the music record label, etc. Or your management, and you kind of figure out what you want to do with that. There's a variety of ways you can put things in your bio. You can make videos that are ads. Like I sometimes I'll try and help companies like build on TikTok. So if you've really got a lot of knowledge, you can use it to then help companies build on the platform. Like they can like pay you, or you can work with them, or whatever way you want to do that, and you can help them give them knowledge to build on TikTok. I know a lot of people that have done that. There's some people that I know that have stopped doing TikTok altogether on their page and went and ran another TikTok account for the business, because that's how TikTok now is not going anywhere. We know that. In terms of how big it is, it's got to the point where it's so big, I think that it'll just consistently evolve, like things like Instagram and Snapchat and stuff. So companies are now jumping on it now and realising they'll do good to start with, and they'll be like, oh, we need to have, how do we keep going? How do we keep putting out the content? So there's a variety of ways you can make money on it. Some more reliable than others.
But that sounds really wise, Stephen, because it means that your income doesn't just rest on the platform, on what the platform deigns to give you, like on YouTube. That you are building relationships that will last longer than the next.
Yeah.
payout.
Yeah, exactly. And I think there's a difference with it. Was we would love on TikTok if we ever content was monetized and we'd love it. It'd be great. You know what I mean? Like, just like YouTube does. I don't know how they would do that now. You know, you've got different things where they're trying to build different things to help creators and brands connect. TikTok are trying to actively do that. However, I think they need to just be like, they need to make it, not for everyone, because if that happened, you'd have hundreds of millions of people like abusing some sort of system. So they'd have to make it the way like they do YouTube. You have to have a certain amount of watch time and a certain amount of videos and stuff. But we would love it if it was monetized, but there is ways to do it, you know, and relying on me making the work, the effort to make a video, get me paid instead of relying on like the views. Not relying on the views, but it's better thinking I've worked hard for this money than like not doing anything at all, really. If anyone's listening from TikTok, we would still love for our content to be monetized, i.e. our like videos getting views, because no one's going to pass that up, are they? If they could do it in a way that was fun and great, then we would love it.
Should we both ask TikTok now? Please,
yeah, TikTok. Yeah, do it, please.
Monetize the videos.
Monetize videos, and I think that the way to do that, and I think, you know, it's hard for them because they've worked hard to get monetization through like a creator place where brands and creators can connect, which is fine and fun. However, some brands are going to undercut the smaller creators and give them peanuts, and they're going to take them. I love TikTok as a platform, and you know, I've been on it for years, so like it's my baby. But like there's a lot of new creators that come up now, and they get a bit of a following really quickly, and then it kind of plateaus, which happens to everyone. And then, you know, if they've not got a lot of knowledge on the platform or how to keep themselves safe from brands or people try to take advantage of them, like management or whatever, you've got to try and let them know. But at the end of the day, you know, some people just are going to choose the wrong decisions. But that's the issue that you have now. You've got a lot of people coming up, get big for a little bit, and then get like, oh, what do I do? And people try and take advantage of them. It's like any platform you're on, any social media, anything like that, there's always someone that's probably out there to kind of see what they can get from you without really giving you your worth. Whereas I'm really lucky, I've built my knowledge up. I know, not worth in terms of money, because money's, you know, it's something you think about because it is a job, but it's not my first priority. My first priority is, will my content inspire people in some way? That's what I think about when I make content. Money comes like third or fourth for me.
What advice would you have for anyone starting out on TikTok?
There's a lot. Some really cool advice would be stay authentic, do the trending hashtags and do the content that's trending, and you know, don't be discouraged by not getting, you know, loads of views or whatever very quickly, and don't be discouraged if you do get the views and it kind of plateaus a bit. That happens to everyone, but really stay authentic to what you do. If there's a niche content that you love doing, whether it be point of view content, meme content, makeup, dancing, hone in on that craft and do that. TikTok loves people that can have like some sort of niche that they're really good at, and if you be consistent, I post every day, whereas I think TikTok, you know, they advise to post like maybe between 3 and 5 times a week, but most creators post every day or every few days. So it's like really just depends on like what you're kind of in, like what your schedule would be. But yeah, stay authentic, be consistent, do the trend hashtags, and have fun. Have like the best time you can. That's what I do. So just let my cat in.
And how do you cope with that, Stephen? Do you have so if you post every day, some days presumably you post more than once a day. Do you have times where you feel, oh, I'm absolutely killing it, and other times where you think, oh, I'm falling behind, that I'm not outputting as much as I would like to?
Yeah, absolutely. Right now, actually, I'm in that kind of zone where I'm not outputting as much as I want to because my views aren't great, and it should never be about the views. And I think that's something people have to understand, that it should never be about your views and likes and stuff. However, if it's part of your job, you then worry about it. So I do worry about that because sometimes you have big times, you have low times, everyone has it. It's just any social media. So at the moment, I'm kind of like that. I'm like, oh, I'm not going to I'll put out like videos every day. Sometimes I'll put out 3 videos to 5. Sometimes I'll put out 1 video. Back in the day, years ago, I'd put out like 15, 20 because it was mostly like dancing, lip syncing, acting videos, which were very easy to do. But I think kind of what I've done is I kind of set a bar really high for myself in terms of my content, so that I can't revert back to that now to kind of do that for an easy whim. It doesn't work on my page, the algorithm doesn't pick it up. So it kind of, you have to, you know, some days are going to be bad. So sometimes I have bad days where I'm like, oh my gosh, like I've worked for 4 years, it's slipping through my hands, my account's dying. Which I say that a lot, and sometimes I have to kind of just have a rant to myself or to my friend, and then just get on with it. Because at the end of the day, I make content for myself and other people, and if someone watches it and goes, oh, he inspired me, or someone watches it and goes, that made me laugh, then my job's done. Like, that's my day done. Like, you know, in the grand scheme of things, to make someone's day or to make someone feel comfortable in themselves is a gift that's, you know, priceless, really. So, yeah, I just get through my bad days by just having a day off. Posting one video and being like, if it does bad, it does bad, or if I really post a video that I don't enjoy, I think if I'm not going to post it if I don't enjoy the video, you know what I mean? I have to have fun doing it. That was probably a long answer to the question, very broad, but yeah.
Stephen McKell, what shouldn't I do on TikTok?
Don't get swept up in the things, this is from personal experience, but don't get swept up in this, you know, looking at everyone else's accounts for their views, comparing yourself to other people, to thinking you've got to be like someone else. I've done all those things, and it honestly, what it does, it just ruins your whole entire vibe. It's not something you want to kind of get involved in. You've got to be able to be yourself. So don't compare yourself to anyone else, ever. Just don't do it. Believe me, it's the best thing. Just don't do it.
And it's almost as if you almost found your medium, because you were posting on YouTube, but this one, it just kind of unleashed something different.
I think TikTok's just more easier for me to make content, and I think it was more easy for me to like have fun and like connect with fans. So it was very much easier for me to make the short form media and have and work around like the 15 seconds to like a minute videos, whereas YouTube is like longer videos, and it was fun. I can't say YouTube wasn't fun, it was great, and it's not that YouTube is bad. I'd love to go back to it. I'm planning to go back to it soon and do videos, but like it's the idea of like having to post like every single like week or every few days, whereas TikTok's just so much easier to post. It is hard, like someone like me, I can't just post, you know, a lip syncing thing or a dancing thing and it does well. I have to really put effort into it. So and that's, you know, because I think with someone like me on TikTok or any platform, I don't look like the natural beauty standard as people would have it. I'm still beautiful, but, you know, I think I don't have, like, what you know, our society nowadays deems as beautiful and, like, what you should watch. So I kind of look out of place a little bit. I act a bit out of place, which I love that. I love being, like, the alternative kind of influencer, creator, whatever you want to call it, but I'm on the outside looking in on a lot of stuff when it comes to, like, being on the end of things. My cat's just jumping around my room right now, so I do apologise. But yeah, YouTube was just a bit long. It was just long videos, and it was filming it, editing it, and I just think TikTok just took up over that, and I thought I just need to focus on TikTok now, and that's what I did. I thought if I'd focus on both of them now, I don't think I'd be as successful or as big on TikTok as I am now, because I just ditched YouTube and was like, I don't have time for it. I've got to just do something else, and then that's what I did. So,
and it sounds like there's something driving you behind that then, because it's one thing to post a lot, but to keep going, it seems like there's something behind it, Stephen. Something that there's something that you want to express.
I want to be the person that I didn't have growing up watching on TV or social media. So I'm 26, so I didn't really, social media was a thing in the mid-noughties, but it wasn't big when I was the ages of, like, you know, 10 to 16. You know, you were outside all the time. That's what I'm trying to explain to people. You weren't on social media all the time. It wasn't massive then, and especially in like Scotland or anything. So I wanted to be the person that I didn't see in like TV shows or I didn't see in like social media when I first started it. It was all very much the same people. Brands or companies were only focusing on the same people. Whereas I'm not, you know, I'm fat. I'm someone that's asexual. I'm someone that's looks a bit out of place, and that's all positive for me. Fat's not a negative word. That for me, I use it as a positive because I'm fat, but I'm flawless. You know what I mean? So, so I wanted to be the person I didn't have whilst watching social media, whilst watching TV. So I was like, I'm going to be that person then, and I think that I have. I like to think that if tomorrow TikTok shut down or my account was deleted or whatever happened, I like to think that, you know what, even TikTok or social media in general, I like to think that I've done well, and hopefully I've inspired people, and I've been inspired by people. So my legacy, if you could call it one, it's been positive. It's been fun. I've stayed very authentic. And that was one thing. That was it. I just didn't really see anyone else like me. And now there's a lot of people that are like me, that not like me. I think I'm quite a unique taste, but there's a lot of people that have got my initiative, really. I think that are like, okay, I'm just gonna be different, because different's okay and different's fun. If everyone was the same, the world would be such a boring place. So yeah, I just wanted to be that person that I never had online or on TVs and movies and stuff that I didn't have growing up.
Totally. And what we're seeing now is the death of mass, isn't it? Mass media, mass entertainment, mass one size fits all. It's so positive that you're inspiring people to share their voice.
Yeah, that's it. And I think that, and for me, it's never been bigger than anything, because size is not part of my comedy. You'll never see a video where I'm like, I'm so big, and like, that's never been part of my comedy, because it's not. I can, if that is part of someone's comedy, then good on them, and like that's how you can relate to people, and great. It's never been part of mine, so my thing's always been about, it's all about be the free you. I've always had that in my Sassy Squad. But be the free you is a slogan that I always use to people, because it really is the hardest thing in life, and this is the truth, is to really be your free, authentic self. Because when you are being free in yourself, you put yourself up, you open yourself up to ridicule and people opinionated about you, people being awful because they might not agree with what you do. And to that I say, I won't swear, but you just let them jog on, because life's way too short to really worry about what anyone else thinks of you. And people think that, oh, he's like that on social media, but I bet in real life, and you'll meet me and I'll be like, I don't give, I really don't care. Like, if someone doesn't like me, that's a them problem, not a me problem. And they can deal with that to the side. It really is. I think, especially nowadays generation coming up, I think even my generation's a bit soft. We're the millennials, so we're a bit soft. But in my family, I was brought up really tough. Really like, you got to be tough. And I think a lot of people don't have that kind of toughness and so I try to teach people that if you're getting bullied, this is a big rant now, but if you're getting bullied, or think people are saying something to you, then never let them see you sweat. You never and call them out on stuff, because people that are like that hate getting called out. No one bullies never like getting called a bully, you know what I mean? So I try and teach people to love the skin that you're in, and if you don't love it, change it to a way that to your standard, not someone else's. So it's just, I want to be that, I just want to be that voice that people can listen to, whether it's about your size, your mental health, whether about your sexuality, whether it be about being inclusive and diverse. I just hope people kind of watch my content and be like, oh, like he's someone that gets it, and I learn every day. I don't know everything about everything, you know what I mean? That's the truth, I don't. I learn just as much as everyone else does. So people think that he must know it all, or he thinks he knows it all. I don't. That's the end of my TED Talk.
There's one. Should we take a little drink break?
Yes, that'd be great, actually.
Let's take a little drink break. I've got some juice here.
And you two at home, why don't you have a drink too? I love it. I love more. Refreshing. I love that. It's a good segment. I love it.
Stephen McKell, what do you find are the hardest videos to make?
Original comedy content is very hard to make, because you have to be funny, and you have to have a good sense of humour, and you have to be quick.
How do you make a funny TikTok video? What's your process? How do you go about it?
It depends on what I'm making. If I'm making a video, like if I'm using like a sound underneath it and it's not me talking, I think what's going to grab someone's attention in the first 4 seconds, because that's your window that you've got. Sometimes it's shorter depending on what kind of video it is, but you've only got your first few seconds to hit someone with what you need. So my thing is, if I make a comedy video that I want them to watch for 15 seconds or more, how can I get the punchline in there if it's non-verbal within the first few seconds? So I think of that, I think of how can I get that in there quickly, then what's the story after that, because people love watching a storytelling, that if it's, and that's hard to do itself if you're doing a comedy video without you actually talking, and you're just doing something that's funny, you're trying to tell the story through your actions or through the writing on the screen. So you've got to have a plan, and I think plan, but don't plan too much. It's hard, it's like, do this, but don't do this, go to work, don't go to work. But anyway, so you've got to plan, but don't plan too much. Plan like this is the beginning, middle and end, and allow yourself to have a bit of leeway of spontaneity, have been spontaneous. Put that in there as well, and just do stuff that you think will be funny and watch it back. But yeah, I think that having a plan for it, making sure you're getting that real comedy punchline the very first few seconds to hook people in. Because if you hook them in for the first few seconds, they'll stay for 15. And if you're still good then, they'll stay to 30. And people that are really intrigued, if you can get them intrigued on what you're doing, then great. If it's stuff like, you know, you actually want to be a character and you want to do like an actual original comedy video where it's just you talking, plan your characters out, plan what you're going to say out, film it until it's good. You know, and those kind of ones where you pretend to be people and you try to be like, oh, I'm going to, you know, you have to make sure, I make sure that my timing's quick. So if it's from speaking from people to people, which a lot of TikToks are, you've got to get that timing really quick between the characters. You've got to know what you're going to do. You've got to think, how is TikTok going to perceive this? What's my caption going to be? Is it going to be a build up to the end where people know what's going to happen but are still going to watch? That's kind of stuff that my process is. If it's character wise, I've got to make sure it's character developed, but also be spontaneous throughout it, because if it's too planned, TikTok will know. People that are watching will figure it out. That's why it's different to YouTube. YouTube, like, people make sketches of actual like TV shows, right? You can do that on TikTok as well, but if it's not authentic and you really have planned it out to the point where it's like, my name's Stacey and I'm doing this, my name's Bit, people are going to click right off and be like, that's not fun, the person's too much in their head.
That's really interesting. When you're planning, do you literally write it out, or do you keep notes for yourself?
Sometimes I write it out if I want to get a point of view across. If it's a comedy video, but I want to get a point of view of what I want to say in the video, I'll write it out, because then I'll put it in my head, but then my head gets jumbled, mumble jumble. We've got dyslexia, so sometimes it's like, what did I just say? And that's why I always record if I'm doing takes of stuff, because sometimes you forget what you said and you have to like watch it back. But I'll write some stuff down. Like, this is what's going to be like a few of the lines, but not all of them, because I think you have to have a way of just ad-libbing it and doing it, and not everyone can do that. And what you might not be good at doing comedy, you might be good at singing. If you're not good at singing, maybe dance. If it's not dance, maybe it's art stuff, maybe it's arts and craft, maybe it's point of view content. Some people do really, really great acting on point of view content, which I'm not that great at. I'm not, because how they edit it and how they make the videos, it's... Yeah, if you go on TikTok and you just put in hashtag POV, you'll find a lot of these like dark videos, and you think you're watching like a little episode of, and it's great. People do like 10-part series of stuff, and I'm like, I'm watching the whole thing.
What you're actually outlining is basically rehearsal on camera. You tend to just rehearse, record?
See me, sometimes I wake up at 3 in the morning and be like, this is going to be such a great comedy stuff. Pick my phone up and I'd film it there and then, because my mind was telling me, this is when you're going to get the best kind of content for this video now. So I'll be in the hallway and mum and dad would be asleep, and I'll be like strutting down it, pretending to be like a character. And I think that's really great, because once you've started doing that, it's tough to start with. But it's like any content, whether it be comedy, singing, dancing, point of view, meme style, artsy craft, storytelling, you find a way of doing it that works for you, works for people that are watching your content, and to do well. That's like one of the things when you work with brands, they're stuck with YouTube and Instagram in mind. You can't do that for TikTok. You really should, brands are watching this, brands should really open up to the creator and say, well, this is the idea that we have. And it's great when a brand comes with an idea, being like, we think this, because it shows their understanding of TikTok, and that's great, because any company should look into the platform they're looking to promote an artist, a product on. That's just the tea. So they come for a plan, and I'll say, this is me just rambling on now, and I'll say, that's great, and then we'll take stuff like that and say, but this would work on my account because of this. So having that between, some brands have a fully realised campaign, fully realised brief, and I'm like, that's great, and I love the music of the product, and that's great, and that works for me, my fans, or people that follow me. I don't know, I call them Sassy Squad, because I think fans is like a weird thing. But I'll tell them, this will work this way on my account, because we're all different. And so sometimes you get a bit of, and I'll be like, I'll do it, like I'm happy to do, because what you've got is good, but I know it won't work. So like, sometimes I've done it and it's been alright and I've enjoyed what I've done, but other times I've been like, if I can't do it that way, then I'm not going to be able to be part of it, because it doesn't fit. And what it's going to do is it's going to do an injustice to you as the artist or the brand. It's going to do injustice to me and injustice to people watching. Whereas some people wouldn't do that. Some people like, give me the money and I'll post, you know. And that's, you know, that's alright. That's people that, you know, will do that and they have that. Me, I'm not. I'll only do stuff that I feel that I'm really passionate about, that I can, if it's a song, if I don't click with the song, I won't do it. If it's a TV show, whatever, if I don't like the idea of it, I won't do it, because then essentially what every creator should be doing. You should be doing it in a way that, okay, this is fun and I think my fans would love watching this, or my fans would love listening to this, or they're going to have fun watching me doing this. That's the issue that you have nowadays with brands. If that's ever a conversation you have with someone, that's the issue that you have, is they're so like Instagram driven, Instagram story driven. No, they look like ads, and that's how
it's true. Stephen, what would you say to your 1,000 follower self?
Oh, that's hard. I would say, stick to your guns on, how you want to be perceived, and how you want to be kind of looked at in the world, I think. And you're going to have ups and downs, and that's all right. But it's all right to say to people like, no, get away. You don't have to be, and some people might be a bit mean to you. If it's social media wise, some people are going to be mean to you, or some people are going to have opinions about you that they've never met you, and they never are going to meet you, and you have to just really take yourself out of that mindset and just focus on doing what makes you happy. Because I didn't do that to start with. I kind of was like, oh, people didn't like me on music. I was, my name is Mr. Chubby or something. It was so bad. We'll say fat isn't my comedy, but I had my name as Mr. Chubby. But yeah, I'd say to myself, just stay authentic, have fun, and just don't let what other people think of you like annoy you. And I don't do that now, but it took me a while to kind of get into that. I got hate on my first day on TikTok, on social media in general. I've had hate comments, I have them now. So it's just about persevering and realising, my mum taught me, you've got two options. You can really let it consume you and reply to them and kind of defend yourself, and like think about it, or like, really argue with them, or you can kind of take it in, let it go over your head and just move on. And so that's what I did. I was like, that's it, that's what I've got to do, just let it move on. If someone's got an issue, that's them. So 1,000 follower me, keep doing you and don't let anyone stop you.
Stephen, what do you think TikTok will be like in 2021?
Oh, I think it'll be more, I think it'll be bigger than it is now. I don't think it's, because I'm looking at the camera, I think it'll be bigger than it is now, TikTok 2021. I think that the fight for the For You page is going to be a lot tougher than what it is now. I do think it'll be bigger and it'll be better, and I think that it's going to encompass a lot of stuff that all generations can get involved in more and more, because it's a platform for everyone. There's everyone of all kind of ages on it, and there's never been another app or platform that's rose to this kind of fame in such a short time. So for 2021, I do see it being bigger. I hopefully see creators, getting more monetization for the work that they do, but I think it'll be harder for creators though. I think it'll be a tougher game. It'll be like what YouTube was back in 2012, 2011. A lot of people just uploading content, and it's survival of the fittest, and only the strong survive when it comes to being a big creator on it. But in terms of people making content, I think that there'll be more people of all ages that are on it, hopefully. Hopefully it's not shut down, these things about getting banned and stuff. It never will be like that. But yeah, I see it being twice the size it is now and just taking over the world even more.
Should we just post the thumbnails? And please, hit the subscribe button below if you want to see more great British YouTubers. There's a playlist and a podcast. All the links are in the description below. I'm Neil Mossey, and I'll see you on the very next Great British YouTubers.